All right, Cyber Traders, welcome on back here this Tuesday, March 22nd, this Post-Traders Talk edition here of our afternoon meeting. Great to see all of us live inside Cyber Group. We have Will and Mark and Charles and Norman. A lot of us doing well heading into this early afternoon. Great to see Leda and Patrick as well, loud and clear, hopefully, from everybody there. And if you're joining us once again on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube, welcome on back as well. Folks, we have a lot to talk about, as we always do. So let's hop right to it. We don't have class this afternoon, albeit I have to jump onto a coaching call with one of our students. We're going to trade the close together. But for otherwise right now, like Kathleen and Henry and Charles and Robert rejoining us right now, let's just talk about this AMC trade to begin. How could we not? I mean, it's just on the screen here to start, but man, what a run, what a move on the AMC trade today. I think the cat's out the bag once again. This is tailing behind the GameStop trade. It's like just saying history typically has a tendency to repeat itself. So with that, we ended up seeing in the beginning of last year, all of the meme stocks run, and that being like GameStop and AMC at that time. I remember Express and Bed Bath Beyond, BlackBerry too is part of that, and plenty more I'm sure I could talk about. But nonetheless, you could just see what happened back, in the beginning of last year. Well, I don't think that we're going to get that type of move again. All right, so let's just get that out the way. But it is to ask, hey, if why can't this stock make a fraction of the type of run that it made back in January of 21? And, of course, I'm talking about GameStop here, but, on a more tradable stock, AMC a lot more within our price range and, still making pretty much the same type of parabolic move as GameStop is right now. So right away, I'll definitely put the AMC trade on our watch list for the close. Just out of curiosity, let me just ask. I tried asking earlier, but now I know a lot of us are kind of rejoining us here for this afternoon meeting. Is anybody in this AMC trade currently live right now, and perhaps from a much better price from earlier, heading into the afternoon? I know one of our students, Deb, I was chatting her on the side. She has done incredibly well. I don't know if she had gotten out and dipped out for the day. I tried chatting her, but she was in from like the mid 16s. So, last I talked to her was just about 45 minutes ago saying, hey, I think there's a good chance this can make the push up to 18. And nonetheless, it did. So, I know Deb's doing really good. Kathleen is in it right now. She has a small position, but, hopefully from a great price right around 16, 16.50, even 17 ended up making for a nice breakout level. Heading into the close, Norman just wrote it here in the chat board. It might go to 20. Not guaranteed, right? Certainly, and I'm talking more so to the folks on social media, YouTube and Facebook Live, that are not a student here at Cyber Trading. But it's to say there are no guarantees with trading to begin with. If anything, right now the SPY is beginning to top off and begin to pull back once again. So perhaps if the steam is out of the market right now, and if the market's going to dip back down a tiny amount, perhaps that could drag like an AMC or GameStop with it. So just be mindful of that. That's all I'm kind of saying. Just be mindful that this right here could be the end of the show, the end of the run, maybe a lower high and a lower low coming up. But nonetheless, though, I certainly hope that doesn't happen. If this does retrace back down a bit, I would anticipate 18 to be a big support level at first, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, AMC definitely. I'll put this on our afternoon list. Henry says the monthly open was at 19. It's a weekly chart. Oh, I thought that was a monthly there for a second. I toggle back and forth between these just every now and then. Month open at 19. Henry is not incorrect. He is certainly correct with that. Perhaps we'll make a push up towards 19 and hold under that, given that that is a pretty significant point, just as the monthly open. All right, AMC on our list here to begin. Listen, if you do options and if you're looking to do calls on GameStop heading into the afternoon, if things are still squeezing up, that's different. But for any one of us here inside the trading room, I'd rather you trade more shares of a less expensive stock. So in the case of AMC versus GameStop, personally, I think it's a no-brainer. I had a couple of us chat us on the side, names not mentioned, but to say, thankfully they ended up jumping in. They already got out, but they were doing this on 500 shares. 750 shares. So, hey, even on that type of position for a stock like AMC that's moving at 25 cents per minute, you're going to be able to make some good money on this type of trade. So even if it's a smaller position, you could do pretty well on this stock here for AMC. We'll put this on our watch list. Let's see what else we have across the gainers and losers lists. Otherwise, I know the NEO trade was moving up really well across the day. The IQ trade was moving up pretty nicely. A couple of different Chinese stocks collectively. I know the BKKT trade affiliated with Bitcoin moved up pretty nicely. So let's see what else we have here first. Well, I'll tell you what's not moving up nicely. It's Triple L. This thing ended up making a nice move early this morning to the point where it got halted a couple of times. We did talk about this inside Traders Talk, our weekly workshop. We did that this morning. So for any one of us that had joined late or missed out entirely inside the trading room, that should be on the student portal by the close today, by the afternoon. And then for all of us on social media, I'm referring to a workshop that's exclusive to our live trading room. So, hey, I'm going to keep this banner up in just a moment. I'll put this banner back up just in a bit. But if you wanted to join us inside our live trading room, feel more than free to do so. That's including the weekly workshop we host on Tuesdays. Just go right down to the link on the banner below. I'll keep that up for a little bit longer. But for right now, the Triple L trade, unless it makes the slingshot right from $5 right here, right now, I wouldn't be too keen to try and look for a major move. So let's see what else we have here in the meantime. The DPRO, kind of similar line of thinking. Stock just traded too much volume today. I just think it's more exhausted right now at this point more than anything. All right, the LEJU, a little spotty. If anything, it's building a nice pennant, actually. Higher lows, lower highs. This NEW stock, I personally didn't look at this morning. I was following the NEO trade more than anything, and I even missed out on the AMC trade as I was commuting back home. But the new stock here, man, this ended up making a nice little move, didn't it? From like 2 up towards 340, 337. It's actually trying to make a bit of an inch up right now. That's like kind of the thing piquing my interest. I'm not expecting this to make another new run to the highs, but it's trading about 13 to 15,000 shares a minute. That's all right at this time of the day. Spreads aren't big. Order book a little thin and patchy here and there, I'll call it. And I'll come back to this at the end. It'll be a sideless stock, this NEW. All right, let's get that other banner back up for all of us on YouTube right now, because I know Fausto's doing a workshop himself later on this afternoon, a webinar more than anything. So at 4 o'clock Eastern time, just if you're finishing up with the market and have the chance to join, just click on the banner below right there to sign up for Fausto's webinar that he'll be doing, training your stock reflexes, how risk management and trading psychology are crucial to success. It's an introductory to day trading webinar, so he's not going to go as detailed as I do in our Traders Talk workshops. That's more of like a student-based workshop. But if you're new to trading, new to day trading in particular, and want to hear more from Fausto, for all of us on YouTube, Facebook Live, just go right down to the link on the banner below. I'm sure that for all of us in Cyber Group, Rich will post that just at the end of the day. Will this afternoon's webinar be recorded? Yes, it will be, Henry. They always are, by the way. And the recordings are also posted on our YouTube channel. So that's a great question, Henry. New, we'll put on our side list for right now. Let's jump back to this gainers list here now. Did my housekeeping for the meeting. So the ZME trade making the same type of little bounce back up as the new is. This one's trading a lot more volume per minute, about 45 to 48,000 shares. I like this one also. If anything, I'm going to actually put this on the main list for right now. It's actually cheaper and making a sharper push right now. So if I'm comparing one over the other, I do like the ZME. I'll put this on the afternoon list. UXIN, I liked it until I didn't like it. Ended up making a nice run heading into the early afternoon, but made lower highs and the volume died off. All right, let's keep it going. So now number 8, GameStop. So, perhaps at the end I'll slip it on our watch list. It's more of an options play if you're looking to kind of like, do calls on it. If it ends up squeezing up higher into the close, I'd rather you not trade the stock because it just has such a big spread to it. Sopa ended up making a big pop. I didn't even realize that as well. Ended up making a huge move from like 280 up towards 315, 320, if not more. Got halted, reopened up. Unfortunately, you see the pennant building, the volume dying off. And I tell you, much more often than not, this is usually the end result. All right, let's jump to IQ here. Chinese stock, we're pretty familiar with the trade. It ended up making a beautiful run from the morning. It took a little bit to get the gears going on it, but it made a nice breakout off of 370 and moved up just about 70 plus cents from there. Right now, it's so flat. I will say it's kind of close to the highs, so I do like that part, but it's really flat. It's like lifeless. So, if I need to come back to this trade at the end, then I don't have a problem doing so. But let's see what else we have at least here. Here comes another meme stock, KOSS. This one ended up making the same type of pop and run as GameStop and AMC back in the beginning of last year. The difference with this one's super low float, super low volume on a day-by-day basis. The spread is really big right now, and the order book is paper thin. So I don't like it for that reason. If you're trying to gamble and, just do a share or two, all right, whatever. But, I don't know. I like the AMC trade the most so far out of all of these meme stocks here that I'll label them as. Billy ended up making a nice move from this morning. I think this is a Chinese stock, if I'm not mistaken. But ended up making a nice bounce roughly around that 30 area, sub 30 for a bit, but slung right back above it. This one looks decent. I don't mind putting this on our watch list at all for right now. Kind of making the same type of move as like AMC, albeit not really breaking new highs just yet, but nice trends, moderately priced, good order book, although a little thin, but consistently tight spread for right now. This one looks all right. The rail trade, I feel like we have a lot to go through here, folks. So I'm going to take my time. I know I have to jump off right at 3 o'clock, but let's see what else we have here at first. Let's just check back in. I don't know how BKKT's doing. Oh, no. Damn it. All right. So before I ended up commuting to go home, I ended up jumping in on this BKKT trade. I know Fausto was all over this stock from the morning, from the market open. He did really well on this trade. But, after the initial run up, it topped off shortly after 10:30 Eastern time. Well, I ended up watching this heading into the early afternoon, and I was looking for a sling right above the VWAP. And at the time, that was right around 684, 683, or even 85. I think it's still there right now. But I had the right setup just at the wrong time. And then I ended up going back home, and I haven't really checked back in with it until right now. So, man, this ended up just breaking back over a 685 area, and it's starting to make a good move back up. Damn it. All right. I had a good morning, but I just would love to add on another nice runner here, this BKKT. So this one's definitely good to go. I'll put this on our list. Can't be all perfect, I guess. PDD, nice little move throughout the day. Ended up actually making a hell of a recovery, if I'm not mistaken, over the last like 7 to 10 trading days. I know that Chuck C in our live trading room's been calling this one out. Yeah, I remember that from like last week. This was like at like $27. Ended up making a huge gap up from the end of last week, and ended up running up pretty nicely here. Norman also says it's a Chinese stock too, so they might be all moving similarly here all together. So you know what? It would be hard to not put this one in particular on our watch list. The more expensive we get, though, then I kind of get a little picky. So I could easily add this to our list at the end. I just want to see if there's anything more within our price range first. That's all. Great stock to follow. Looks like PDD. For anyone that normally trades that or has done well on it over the last week, I would recommend for you to put that on your personal watch list. BZUN, eesh, not all the Chinese stocks are moving that great right now. BZUN, super flat. Tiger, another one, ended up making a nice move from the morning heading into the 12 o'clock time frame, but lower highs here. Let's take a look at DD. DD, for as much as it ran yesterday and the day before, it's getting a pullback here. So another Chinese stock, but this one not making as sharp of a move. So, hey, we'll come back to any of the other sideless stocks or Chinese stocks or any other stocks you'd want me to look at just once we finish up the loser side. Let's see what's on the loser side here for right now, though. Just a bunch of stuff hard to borrow. So I kind of just skim over those because they're pretty much impossible to borrow more often than not. PIK, just checking on this one at least. Former runner from the last 2 days. Here we are now Tuesday, heading into the afternoon. Ended up dropping off from the morning. I guess a little pop over 5, but I'm not convinced at all. All right, let's see, folks. I mean, I think everything else on the losers list is hard to borrow, so I don't mean to sound lazy here, but I've just done this enough. Been around the block all too often here. So, if there's anything that's moving with the market, actually, hell, the market's really flat even here. So unless if there's anything making a convincing move up or down more than 5%, as I typically say, let me know here in the chat boards or across YouTube or Facebook Live. Format, nice scan there. Lato with NKTR. Is it going anywhere? It's making a nice move. And not only that, you are correct with the gap fill right there. Yeah, it's a potential gap fill right there. It has a ways to go, but even if it can make a fraction of the gap fill or continue to make a fraction of the gap that it's been filling, that could be a decent trade. And right now, with where it's at right now, yeah, it's looking really nice. So the NKTR, I'd be a little mindful of resistance off of 650, although there's not really an order showing as of right now on the matrix. Michael with STNE. It's trying. It's trying. Let's see if there's anything looking even better. But, hey, if you've done well on the stock from earlier today, I'm sure you'll be more mindful to follow it for the close, right? So I'll say that, as I said, on the PDD trade. From one of us on YouTube, who I'll pronounce the username as Assidious. Assidious, welcome aboard to our afternoon meeting here. Now, for anyone else, though, if you have any other suggestions or call-outs, definitely let me know. But I'll tell you, we had a pretty decent morning, and we ran through pretty much everything else, though, for right now. So if there's really not much else to follow, I think that we did our job. I had a StreamYard issue before I started this meeting. I actually hopped on right at the buzzer. Actually, I beat the buzzer by a couple seconds, but I had to close down Benzinga Pro, so I wasn't able to reload that before I started here. All right, folks, I'll tell you what, I don't see anything else. I think that we're just about good to go for right now, though. In terms of Bitcoin, again, I'll do a more specific, detailed video heading into the next day. There's some good news that came out over the last week, and it seems like it's finally been confirmed. A big player stepping into the Bitcoin game in particular with a near $3 billion investment. So I don't know how that's rolled out, laid out, if they already did it, but we ended up seeing a huge pump in Bitcoin over the last 24 hours. It's pulled back a little bit since, but I feel like that's only going to continue. I think that we're in a good spot. I showed my position that I was in from Friday afternoon, still in it for right now, no sweat about it, especially after with Bitcoin holding back over 40.5 and bouncing exactly from there, as we had said. So with this new pump over the last 24 hours up towards 43,000 and change, I feel pretty good about 49 down the line. All right, folks, I think that's all you got from me, at least here for this afternoon. One more time for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube. I appreciate you sticking with me each and every day, each and every afternoon. I know that Fausto jumped back into the saddle this morning. He'll be there for the remainder of the week. But if you have any questions for myself, though, in particular, feel more than free to send it on over through email. josh@c2trading.com is my email. I always like to post that here at the end of these live streams. And then otherwise, in particular for today, just if you wanted to watch Fausto's webinar later on this afternoon, just for all of us on YouTube, Facebook Live, just go right down to the link on the yellow banner below right now to sign up, register. Even if you can't make it live, that's actually one way to receive the recording directly. So if you register down below, you'll be able to receive the recording and receive the invite to today's live webinar at 4 o'clock Eastern. For Leda, Norman, Michael, Henry, and all of us otherwise live inside the trading room, we'll post that link for you folks coming up just as we continue the audio commentary. Just stay put, and we'll be back on in the next 12 minutes. Talk to you soon.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it today.